The FNRad Snowboard Podcast is presented by Vans. Season 8 was sponsored by Wired Snowboards, who build custom handcrafted amazing snowboards about 10 minutes from my house. Thank you, Rob and Pepe, for your continued support. Thanks, Guy and Fred, and thanks, Devin, for being Devin Walsh. Anon Optics make absolutely the best goggles in the world, and I appreciate their support so much. Burton's the company behind Anon, and they've been supporting snowboarding for way more than 40 years. I'm proud that FNRad is sponsored by such an iconic company. The Boardroom Snowboard Shop is still going strong as Vancouver's premier snowboard shop, carrying everything you need for all types of snowboarding. Their online shop, boardroomshop.com, ships to Canada and the US and is awesome. Check it out. Ken Achenbach sponsored the show this year with the Pro Standard GoPro accessories. Find an epicagent.com. This place is awesome. Kenak Real Estate and his daughter's band, Kaya J and the Drink Tickets. Ken's the most enthusiastic snowboarder I've ever met, and he was a part of so much snowboarding history. It's just nuts. Thank you, Ken, for supporting FNRad. And Tribute Board Shop was established in Nelson in 2003. The name is a tribute to Craig, so you know they've been supporting snowboarding culture since the beginning. Check out the Tribute Lounge on YouTube and make sure you subscribe. Check out tributeshop.ca for epic snowboard, skate, and lifestyle gear. Thank you, Mark Fawcett and Shane Johnson, for your continued support of the show and the community. Love you guys. I'm so stoked to have such amazing people sponsor the show. Dakine, Grouse Mountain, Mount Seymour, and Volcom all supported FNRad this season with essential gear for me to get up the mountain. Thank you to Mike Costigan and Brian Shaw from Dakine. Marcus at Grouse is making amazing things happen up there. Keep up the stellar work. Thank you, Seymour, and thank you, Tyler Element from Volcom, for keeping me in the fresh Gore-Tex Volcom gear. These are great partners to work with. Thank you all for your support. The final guest of Season 8 is Jess Kimura, who is currently teaching a master's class in snowboarding career longevity to the entire snowboarding community. Proving once again that authenticity trumps marketing hype, Jess created a women's snowboarding event, the Uninvited Invitational. Motivated by elevating women's snowboarding and helping companies provide much-needed budget for aspiring women snowboarders, Jess's Uninvited Invitational attracted talented snowboarders from around the world. Jess is already a pro snowboarder and a pioneer in women's street snowboarding. Now she's undeniably a leader and a visionary. She's been working for women's snowboarding for over a decade, and the Uninvited Invitational is a perfect summation of what happens when women in snowboarding receive support. In 2017, Jess Kimura created a filming project called The Uninvited, based on girls not being invited to filming sessions, photo shoots, and team trips, even as pros on snowboard teams. Released in October of 2018, the success of The Uninvited proved what Jess had been saying all along. Women's snowboarding requires support. And slowly, with Jess at the helm pushing for representation, companies began to support her film projects, and she created The Uninvited 2 and 3, creating a talent pool of women street snowboarders who team managers around the globe couldn't sign up quickly enough. Jess works hard. It shows in her riding and her filmmaking, and this year she focused that hard work on the Uninvited Invitational, a precedent-setting women's snowboarding event held April 13th to the 15th at Boreal Mountain with a $40,000 prize purse. You can check out the results at slushthemagazine.com or snowboardmag.com, and trust me, it's mind-blowing. Jess Kimura has solidified her place in snowboarding as one of those rare legends that dedicated their life to bringing up the next generations. And this feels like just the beginning. On top of all the video parts, awards, editing, and events, Jess has very publicly been processing the loss of her best friend and partner, Mark Dixon, back in 2014. Jess and I recorded an unpublished interview a couple years back, which helped me address some of my own implicit biases, but we never released it. Possibly because I was obsessed with having her teach me about how to navigate the differences in men's and women's snowboarding, instead of showcasing how rad of a snowboarder she is. I was kind of repeating the same mistake at the beginning of this interview, so the universe stepped in and stopped it dead in its tracks. My recorder batteries died, and thankfully the first half hour was destroyed because I was focusing on the wrong stuff. So here it is, the interview that was meant to happen. A long-form conversation with the absolute legend Jess Kimura talking about her love of snowboarding.
North Face has been the sickest sponsor. I was just thinking about that the other day. I was like, man, everything I ask, they're like, yes, how can we help you make it happen? Like, I have these projects that are totally not like corporate bottom line type projects, but the people that work there are so sick, and they are snowboarders, and they do believe, or even if they're not snowboarders, like they just get it. They get what I'm trying to do, and they support it. And because they do that, I'm able to support like a whole bunch of other people who may not have it. And at least the point is to like bridge those people until they can get like, keep them running until they can get support. And it's really sweet to see the shift right now of them getting support and having travel budgets and getting salaries and all that kind of thing. Like that wasn't a thing a few years ago.
Yeah, that's rad. That's when we were talking earlier about the surfing influence. Like, surfing actually came up with like a mentorship program. They didn't ever call it that, but it was like the old pros on teams would bring up the young pros. You know, Craig Kelly did it with Terrier. Like it's in the community to do it. You see it at a non-pro level, like at a skate park, when Alex Chalmers is showing the mom, you know what, you probably should take the plastic off this board before your kid drops in or whatever. And then encouraging a kid like, no, don't try here, go over here. Like, you've got one of the highest ranked professional skateboarders in the world with someone who's brand new, still has Velcro shoes. It's a little kid. And they're showing them the ropes. It's like, yeah, you took that to a whole other level. And it caught fire, which that's friggin' awesome. So who's supported you throughout the years that were great the whole way through?
I mean, Capita and Union have been with me from the start. I mean, that's what the filming for that Think Tank video was, an opportunity that I would never have had if I hadn't have met Blue from Capita. And then, yeah, like Cole also, they've been really supportive. And we did actually a really sick trip to Japan, just like a team trip to Japan last month. Monsters supported me for a long time. And their support has enabled me to bankroll a lot of projects and a lot of trips that gave the girls that I was trying to help like a lot of opportunities. And yeah, they, like, all of my sponsors have come in for for the Uninvited movies, like throughout the years, or this new big event that I'm putting on in April, which is like my next, and that's why I'm like dead inside and have no personality, because it's just like all day, every day grinding on this thing. And it's called the Uninvited Invitational. It's like the event version of the movies that we were making. And it's just like, I wanted to get like a fuck off amount of prize money and be like, this is what, like, something that, I don't know, just like kind of flip the storyline from what it usually is and just make something that, because I know what just making someone feel like what they're doing matters and you're paying attention, even if they're not the greatest at it yet. I know what that can do to take someone from, or like, I know there's so many girls out there that are so sick now that like really weren't a few years ago, and all they needed was someone to like believe in them or give a shit or whatever. And this event is made to like really put the girls on the front line. And I don't know, I just wanted to give them a bunch of money, not give them a bunch of money, but I wanted to raise a shit ton of money so that, because it's like, oh, we support girls. We'll post your picture on International Women's Day, or like repost that does not pay their rent. And so many of them, it's always like, oh, I got this job, I have to go to my job, I have to leave for work, I can't go on that trip because I have to work. That's just, I want them to have like a bit of help, like to be able to snowboard more and develop like either their skills or make it on filming trips or just not have to be at work and maybe go to Hood in the summer or go to an event where they could be noticed or they could meet someone. I know how important that was for me. And when I was coming up, all I wanted to do, like I like planned my life around any contest that would give any amount of prize money. The best one ever was Snow Mission in Eastern Quebec. They gave money. They gave away a snowmobile. They gave I remember the girls' first prize was a MacBook Pro, and we would go break ourselves every year. Like I straight up broke my arm during that contest just to win best trick because I wanted that. Like I could never be able to afford a MacBook Pro, and in our eyes, it was like that's what you need in order to edit your own video. You know,
it's
so
true.
Like I just wanted to make that like something like that. That's like this amount of could actually make a difference. 10,000 word story of saying I'm putting on this event in April. It's called the Uninvited Invitational. There's going to be 50 of the best up and coming riders there. It's over 3 days, and yeah, we're giving away $50,000. I'm scared to say that because we don't 50.
Holy shit.
Yeah, but I've never like none of the uninvited projects were ever near that amount of just prize money. Plus there's the cost of putting on the whole event and hiring the crew and all the equipment. Yeah. So we're not completely like we haven't hit the goal yet. We're a little bit short, but it's like I've just been, me and my friend Hayes, who I got to work with me on this. Like we just bust our asses every day, like getting shot down left and right. Hey, please, like, I don't know, sending out so many. It's just crazy. Rejection and being able to handle it is a skill. It is a skill, and it fucking like sucks every time. But that's one thing that I'm working on learning. But we're close, and fuck that. People have been like, well, let's just give away a little bit less. And I'm like, no. I was in therapy the other day, and I was like, she was trying to talk about something else, and I was like, we just need 20 more grand. She's like, it's just snowboarding, and I'm like, it's not, dude. It's not.
And it isn't. No, you're right. The authenticity, like your real life. You live your real life through this fire that's in you that to be like that one person who's like, fuck that. 50 grand is not that much money when you actually break it down. It's fucking so much money. That is so much money. But it's like there are people out there that can do this, and we need to get them to do it because it's fucking worth it. Because the repercussions from you doing this one thing, it could go 10 years down the road. Like when in our last conversation, we were talking about what it took for you to get the tricks that got you rookie part of the year. And there are times when you're watching Learn to Drown where I was watching going, somebody fucking stop this from happening. It's going to make me sick. Like,
you mean you're talking about like the crashes and stuff?
Yes. It's like, no. I don't want to see this. And then it gets to a point where you're like,
you know why though?
Wow.
Like, I mean, I know like why there's 10,000 reasons why, but that year I was working construction. I was working construction all the way up until December 12th, December 11th. And I left on December 12th for that trip, came back, and I was like, my boss is not going to give me time off in January. So I have 2 weeks to go absolutely fucking ham and get this done. And I filmed like 75% of that video part in those 2 weeks. But with that comes, of course, trying tricks I don't even know how to do, and closing my eyes and just hoping my feet are going to touch the ground. And usually it's my head instead. But yeah, just it's that. And looking back, if like I don't know, if I had a little more money or whatever, just here and there, like $100 here, $500 there, it would have made it easier. But maybe the riding would have been like all soggy because
it's hard to say.
Big cushion, you know.
You have a really, really good style. Some people have really, really good style. They're blessed with it. And some of them are just people that grew up out west and snowboard, a few times a year, and they have great style. Some of them are like you, and you have an obsessive personality where you somehow got the drive to be the best, which is not everybody gets that.
My biggest thing with the style though was that there was this thing called like in my head, or
Yes.
probably many people called like girl style. And
Right.
and like if I were to describe it, it would be like straight-legged, apprehensive kind of, it's nothing is like fully executed all the way through because there's this gripped feeling of like, I don't know if I can actually do this. And it's just like a stance that people have. And I remember thinking like, I want to break that. And so, but that style came from all of these girls growing up their entire lives being told like, you're not supposed to do stuff that's risky. You're supposed to be careful and nurturing and all this shit. So what the hell are you doing jumping off a building, you know, on your snowboard? I get it. But I wanted to like break through that. And now what you see when you watch the girls in like slopestyle or big air or street riding, anything, like their style is like through and through. They're doing it all the way, and there is not girl style. And if someone does have like brutal girl style, they're probably not gonna make it very far until they get past that. So it's not just like, I don't know. What I'm saying is like, you want to talk about women this, women that, lived experiences, all these fucking buzzwords. Sorry, but, and I'm just like, oh, whatever. But it's more just like, that's not it. That's not it, because you guys are white males and you should be listening to us and hearing about this. It's more just like, just hold on. Like there's a reason behind all this stuff. It's not just like, well, girls all suck and they have whack ass style. It's like, no, they're battling inside the whole time, being like, I probably shouldn't be doing this. I'm getting the vibe that these guys don't even want me here. I feel stupid if, and then all these other memories of times that they either tried stuff and were laughed at, or they overheard like their brothers talking or their friends talking and making fun of like some dumb bitch, you know? It's all of those things inside that are like causing that apprehension and that stance. Like literally and figuratively. Yeah. So that's the thing that I guess like, you know, that I'm more passionate about talking about, instead of like when you're you should on the show right now show some of my faces from earlier in the show when I was like,
yes.
Not like, I'm not like bummed on it, but it's just like, dude, it's not just like, I don't know, like there's reasons for it, and it's not just us fucking complaining about our periods or whatever, you know. There's more to it than that.
Absolutely. No, and it's fascinating to hear you talk about it, because you're not because you lived it, and then you also like overcame it. Like that's the thing, is that you didn't have girl style, but like even somebody saying, "Oh, way to go, you don't have girl style," like that just fueled that fire that made you want to not have girl style.
Well,
like,
what made me want to not have girl style was probably like watching Alyssa Steamer or watching Jana Mayan or watching girls that what little part that they were given in a video or a magazine or whatever, and being like that was what me and my best friend Carla grew up together, and we'd always be like, that chick has dude style, you know? And I know now people are like, oh, don't say good for a girl or
right.
or whatever. But that doesn't really bother me, maybe because I grew up in a time where like the goal was to not look like that typical girl thing. And maybe people will be bummed on me saying that, but like, fuck you. I don't
think so. The people that listen to this show, most of the shit they are trying to internalize. So they're like, yeah.
But like, I wanted to do it because like have good style, or just have no style, but just not to have girl style, because I saw a little bit of it and I thought maybe it's possible. And then I want to film an entire video segment that's like that. And I want to live an entire snowboard career that's like that. So that was just like, that's what I wanted to do, so that the other girls would look and be like, oh, damn, maybe I don't have to have this weird stiff style. And like riding with people like Desiree Melanson back in the day, like I remember when I finally got to like ride with her, I was so psyched because her style was so sick. You know, she looked like a dude out there. I remember once she needed to throw me an extension cord like up to another level, and we were plugging in a generator, and the way that she just like fucking whipped it up, I was like, man, I wish I played fucking basketball with you. Like that was, I don't know, like I played mad team sports when I was a kid, and I just like remember there was those girls that could move like a dude, you know, and that's what I wanted to do.
That's rad. Yeah. Yeah. They won't say it next generation like that. Yeah. They'll just say good style.
Well, yeah. The girl style thing is like, you look at all the girls riding now, and they have there isn't girl style
It's gone.
anymore. I mean,
Yeah,
like you can
it's
still
gone.
see it, but I also see it when I'm out sledding. I can see a dude in the parking lot and I'm like, that guy's new because he's got the fucking shit stance, like ass sticking out and all scared.
Right.
Guys have that style too, but it's more
100%.
just like the best girls that there were, some of them did still have girl style, even though they could do the tricks, which is great. And the fact that they were able to overcome whatever it was to even be able to like complete the stuff is sick. But I wanted to like smash that. And
yeah, and you did. It was dope. How did you get linked up with it's the Deja Vu crew, right? Like Ben and LNP, Louif. Who else is in that? I don't know that much stuff about.
Yeah, I mean,
snowboarding.
they were like the bandwagon crew back then.
Bandwagon crew. Right.
Greg Desjardins, Will Levine, Ben Bullock, Alex Cantin,
Oh yeah, Alex.
LMP. Did I say LMP
Yeah.
already?
No,
I love him.
I did.
Okay.
I love him too. He's the best. I hope he
all the
watches
like
this.
the
I'd be
Rome
so
dudes, and
stoked.
then Louif, obviously.
Yeah.
Even like Max Byerjean. Like, oh man, I loved those films. I was just living in Whistler, and I wasn't ever really like linked up with them, so to speak. But back in the day, I was like dating Ben, but I was like, I didn't want anyone to know that. And like, I always tell people, I don't shit where I sleep. Like some of the girls that are, and I mean, like people should be able to do whatever the fuck they want, but like, I don't ever want to like hook up with someone and then it goes bad or they got a fucking micro penis and then like 4 years later you end up on a rail trip with them and you're like, this is awkward,
Right.
So there are other things that like if you're a girl in this, you got to deal with that like people, and I'm not saying it in a like complaining way, but like there are other factors that you have to think about that guys don't necessarily have to think about,
Sure.
especially like being around dude crews all the time and hearing the way that they talk about other chicks and they'd be like, but you're not like that.
Yeah.
But I'd be like, man, they're probably saying that shit, or like I'm never gonna put myself in a position where they can say something like that about
I'll
me.
tell you, my lived experience with it's the same. Like brunch with girls that are like, like club girls. I used to have this friend, Amanda. I would go to lunch with her after, and they would be talking about the guys they hooked up with, and I would be like feeling ill. Like
I saw
would be
your
like,
eyes bulge when I said micro penis.
I'm like, no, I know. I'm like, she can't say that. Holy fuck. No, I really remember like being on the other side of it and being like, women are pigs and I am fucked. Yeah. If that's how they talk, I am totally not stoked on this thing.
Exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So it's like, I think the big thing is, and where the kids have it right, is that these made up stupid boxes that everyone was put in I don't even know what they were supposed to do.
I think they were made to make us feel safe because you feel safe within confines or whatever,
Yeah. But you didn't feel safe. Like the further back you go, the more creepy dudes were and the more weird everything was. And you couldn't spend an afternoon with your uncle because that was going to turn into something. Like, what the fuck? It never worked. It wasn't doing anything good. And now, when I see, the type of expression of just character that people are, in snowboarding, in life, I'm like, that person I was just about to say dude. You can't say dude because I don't know. That person has good style. They have great style.
You can't say dude. Yes, you can.
I don't know. I don't think. Oh yeah, maybe you can. Of course you can. But I just mean like if it's hard to do the pronoun thing, it's difficult at first. And it's difficult kind of all the way through. You see someone who looks like a girl and you call them her and she. And it's a part of this violence in English where if something's not a human, we call it, right? You don't say, who is this about a bug? You're like, what is that? And that allows you to squish that because it's not he or she. It's not.
I let you get into words like lived experience.
Right.
And women.
Yes.
We're not getting into pronouns, dude. Come on.
I love you so much.
Everybody gets one.
One, that's it. Okay, so how did you meet these guys? That was the question.
So yeah, I mean, I was just around them. But I mean, like here's the thing, Eric. I'm happy to talk about like the women thing, but no. But in the context of like shit, like being like, fuck, I have to hide my tampon wrappers on a trip because the dudes will be like, ew,
Right.
you're bleeding.
Yeah, they
from
will.
the inside.
Right. We don't know what to do.
But like, there's just all sorts of
Is it
shit
a down
that's
day? What did you? Are you coming with us to you? Do you need a headache pill?
oh my God. No, like it was just like I spent a whole career like trying to hide the fact that I was a girl because also I was like so worried that because you'd hear dudes talk about like pro hoes all the time or chicks that were fucking their team manager and that's why they got blah blah blah. But so I was like, I'll never give anyone a reason to say something like that about me and like ruin my chance at success. So I like shut myself off to a lot of things. Like, I mean, I think I like, I don't know, people are kind of like, why are you so abrasive? Why are you so gross? Why you gotta fucking fart and shit? But it's like, it's kind of this defense mechanism. Did we talk about this last time?
I think we did on the first
It's
one.
like, dude, don't even try to come and hit on me because it is
Don't
so
bother.
fucking
Yeah.
uncomfortable
Yeah.
when you're like chasing your dream and then someone who like holds the keys to it tries to make out with you. Oh yeah, we did talk about that.
I don't.
But it's just like you're sitting there being like, well, I can either like, I don't know. I just thought it was safer to just portray someone
okay.
who would no one would ever hit on.
Well, how about this?
I think I still do it.
You're a human being, so you're attracted to people. Like, would you did that cut off your ability to like
for
figure
sure.
out what was going on?
I mean, I
that
think
way?
I'm still that way of like being like, I don't have like people are like, are you dating anyone? And I'm like, I don't have time for that. I'm trying to raise $50,000.
It's a lot of money. That is a lot of money.
It probably did, but I wouldn't have. I was so driven and focused and was so scared that it could be taken away at any time or that
Right.
it wasn't actually real that I was like, I can't waste my time. That's a terrible way to put it, but I can't waste my time like worrying about someone
people
else. But
say
I mean,
that all
that's
the
how you
time.
end up like
Right.
sad and lonely in life, you know?
Absolutely.
So
Fuck
there's
yeah.
got to be a balance. And that was what was so sick when I met Mark was I was like, dude, I feel like he's attracted to me and I feel like a girl and like it was just cool.
It's so
really
fun
cool.
to be in love. That's the thing,
Yeah.
right? It's like insane. Like I'm in love with my wife. I've been with her for 11 years now. And without that, I was telling her that on the way up here. I'm like, honey, I just need to appreciate you. Like the reason I am happy, the reason I've had 2 happy years in a row without any major sadness is that when I come home, my wife is there. I've got a partner everywhere I go. Being in love is so fucking awesome. It's like awesome. I could imagine winning rookie part of the year would be pretty fucking awesome too.
Winning those awards is,
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it's awesome, but it's not. And wait, just getting back to like the French crew, those guys were like all of my heroes because also they were the ones that were riding with Marie Francois when she was filming like Any Means and filming for the Rome stuff.
I see.
And so I was like, oh my God, like that crew is like, they have such high standards, or they had, and they still do have
Yes.
such way higher standards for stuff. And it was like, if you could do something that got their approval, then you knew that it was for sure legit and no one was like blowing smoke up your ass. Not that anyone was blowing any smoke up my ass ever.
I know what you're saying. I understand.
I just really looked up to them and also they're Canadian. So like they would be on rail trips and stuff like that. But I mean,
They also didn't lose the fun of it. You know, like you could see competitive snowboarders that were technically really good and that were winning stuff, but looked kind of miserable. We talked about this with the Uninvited too, where it was like, you know, there wasn't like a happy vibe to it. There was like, these tricks are fucking hard and people are getting hurt and they're on a trip, like you were saying, like, thinking like, oh, fuck, when I get back, I got to find a place to live because I got evicted because I couldn't pay my rent because I couldn't do the job because I want to come on this fucking trip. And now I'm not landing shit. So I'm fucking right now.
I'm just thinking of Dara right now so much when you're saying that because I just went on a trip with her and then I'm usually like her emotional support animal via text on every trip that she goes on. But yeah, I mean, the Quebec dudes though, they like, I also liked their work ethic because they took it seriously and they weren't, I know this, like, people probably thought I was kind of nerdy, but I took it so seriously. Like, I would pack my fucking extension cords in my bungee the night before, like, moisturize my bungee to make sure that it wasn't going to snap. Because how embarrassing if you brought the bungee to the crew with the dudes and your fucking bungee's all dried out and depleted. So I just took it so seriously and, like, treated it like a job, even though it wasn't. And when I would do anything with those guys, like, they also, like, Louif is like, I don't know, they just they don't act like they're too cool to care. They do care, and they're not afraid to say it. And to care, I mean, about, like, making sure that the day is successful or the job is getting done. Like, that's the work ethic thing was also what really drew me, because I felt like I fit with that. And even now, like, I go on filming trips with people and they're like, yeah, let's go do tourist stuff. And I'm like, what did you say? Tourist stuff? How many shots have we got? How many? We haven't even gone filming yet. Like, get to bed. We have to get up early. Just, like, I don't know. I'm probably not that fun. Someone said to me the other day, I wish we knew each other like 10 years ago, you know? And I was like, I wasn't fun. I wasn't fun at all, because I was so, like, I cannot slip up, because I got my foot in a door that they didn't want me in, and I cannot slip up. Yeah. So there was that. And then, like, but what you're saying about, like, winning awards, I won all the awards, and I was never like, this is so fun. It was more like I would win them and then be like, oh my God, people all think that I'm something that I'm not, and I'm good and I'm not. And then the next year it'd be like, fuck, everyone expects me to win all the awards, and then I only win one. I'm a fucking failure, you know?
That sounds horrible.
Yeah, nothing is ever like what you think it's going to be. And I think, yeah, it's not.
How have the last 2 years been? Because what it looks like, and, you know, according to what you just said, maybe you're putting on a bright face for the camera. It looks like you're out there fucking having so much fun. Like the lawn dart, starting with that lawn dart of the sled and the laugh that you give. I'm going to put that in the show so people can see it. The laugh is so genuinely one of somebody that is learning a new thing that's so challenging, but you're getting it. You're fucking having fun.
I fucking love snowmobiling. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it so much. Like, I don't know. It's like, you don't really get to do it much when you're out filming, because it's like, unload, get to the spot, hike up, do your trick, film your thing, do that all day, leave. But the snowmobiling part, like, that's something that, like, Mark taught me. And I just get to think of him every time I'm out there. And because it just wasn't something that I got to put a lot of time into. So, like, that day, for example, I was like, I'm like, I don't even know how to turn around, but I'm going to try to jump off this thing because it looks fun. But yeah, that didn't go well. But I mean, you're right. I did not let myself have fun for a really long time. And I think that probably came across in the riding too. People would say that to me and I'd be like,
really?
Yeah.
You made it look fun like the French guys. I'm
not sure the French guys really made it look fun. If I think about, like, in my mind.
The Whiff, I think, and LNP definitely. Oh,
LNP made it look fun.
Yeah, he made everything look fun. Jesus.
But
even Ben.
No, because they were they're like the girls of Canada. Because they know,
what
like,
does that even mean? Wait, what?
That means that, like, they know that they're starting off at a disadvantage and that they can do all the things right. And then still, if their name is spelled weird, people would say to them, you know, you don't have a chance. Like, look there's so many Frank Bourgeois.
Yeah.
For example, like, he's the craziest and can do the craziest everything, but, like, he never made a shit. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Sorry, Frank, but if I am, but, like, never made a shit ton of money off snowboarding and probably never felt like he was getting the recognition that his riding warranted. And there were so many dudes like Onto Chamberlain, like, so many dudes that were so sick and they never got anywhere because there was like maybe only room for one, you know, sorry, we already have LMP or we already have Louis, you know? So yeah, that's the girls of Canada.
I get it. Yeah. Yeah. Jody Wozniak talked about it. So did Rasmus. Just like being Canadian, you're already at a disadvantage.
Being Canadian, you're at a disadvantage. And then being French Canadian, you're at another disadvantage. And I mean,
right.
That's what I mean. Like maybe some people would disagree, but I just remember.
I don't think so. Rob Dow told me one time not to have too many French people on the show because it's hard to hear the accents.
Pretty sure someone told you once not to have too many girls on the show.
Yeah, probably. I might have made that up. When I went back and listened, I was throwing him under the bus for my own shit.
Well, we don't need to name names, like I said.
Yeah. I've just put it out there. Owning your shit's really good. You seem to have gotten through fairly well with owning your shit. You seem to not ever. It's like you didn't make a misstep. It's like you were like, "Fuck, I'm packing the bungees. I'm moisturizing bungees. You know who else used to do that? Is Craig Kelly. Craig, not bungees, but like he would take
moisturizing.
He'd take his bindings apart the day before a contest because they used to break a lot back then. He would check every bolt, make sure the thread was good.
Really?
Yeah, he didn't want to lose a contest because his fucking binding was loose. You know what I mean? Like he took it very seriously.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, he was sick.
In a time where it wasn't cool to take anything seriously.
Meanwhile, he's trying to beat Sean Palmer, who was getting he's doing keg stands.
His bindings aren't even done up.
He hasn't checked his bind. I don't know. I can't talk to what Sean was doing, but he definitely didn't take them apart and put them together. I think you don't give yourself enough credit for it was a job. You treated it like a job because it was your job, right? Like, if Capita's looking like who's our next top pro and you win rookie of the fucking year, they're like, there's Jess, you know, well, let's give her more support. Let's give her $50,000 to do a fucking contest for girls.
Capita is giving me money for this contest, which
I'm
is
glad.
really sick.
Yeah, as they should. They've made a lot of money off of you, you know?
Maybe, I don't know.
Oh, we can do some rudimentary math and be like, yeah, they've done all right. You've been on the team for a very long time, hey? Yeah.
Me and Scott.
You and Scott are the longest on the team?
No, I don't think the longest on the team. Who's the longest on the team?
I think
it's Cocard at this point.
Wow.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think me and Scott got on at the exact same time, which is sick.
What was the era of Capita?
What do you mean? What was the era? Like
who was the big name guys that were
at that time? Breezy, Craven.
Rad.
TJ Schneider was like some of his last year's filming, I think.
Love that guy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Looking back, that he was so ahead of his time.
He was.
He was.
Yeah.
It's got to suck to be ahead of your time. And then in hindsight, know that you were and then see people just like racking in so much success and money from something that you were doing and getting hated on for back in the day.
Right. Taking the hate. That's the thing. Right. Yeah. Like for you going on trips with girls where they're like, let's go shopping. I know you didn't say that. You're like, let's go tourist things. But like,
it was dudes that said that. I just want to make that clear.
Very cool.
Once I went on a trip where the girl that showed up said, let's do a spa day. Sorry, she may have had a French accent. And I was like, bitch, what did you just say? I was like, we're not doing a spa day. But no, it's more like, you know, dudes who are like in it, like people are in it for the experience as well as the job that we're there to get done. And now I'm starting to see that I can like chill the F out a bit and and enjoy myself. But people would always be like, oh, you went to this country, you went to that country, how was it? And I was like, I don't know, I didn't leave the hotel other than to go filming. Like I never let myself enjoy it. I think I thought that if I did, then I would like be having this blind spot where it could just suddenly like be taken away, you know?
Yeah. No, I mean, it's I'm not really going to say this.
Just say it.
It's the theme of Rocky 3.
Oh, I don't think I've seen it.
So. Yeah, because you're not 500 years old. It's the theme of Rocky 4 and 3. He just gets soft, right? Because he gets money. The thing is, in the beginning, Rocky is this like guy from the streets. He falls in love with the girl. They won an Academy Award for that movie. It was awesome. The boxing in it was ridiculous. It was super stupid and not right. But it was like this heartfelt movie of this guy from the streets who gets a shot, and he's actually pretty fucking good. He doesn't win, but he goes the distance, right? And by the end of the movies, he's like not even training. He's just like dancing around and doing ads for things. And it's like, he sucks. And then he gets the shit beat out of him because his job is to be good at boxing. So like, you had a real risk you were running if you were like going on a trip and not taking it seriously. You could lose your sponsors. You could get badly hurt because still you went out for a spa day and then you had a couple of glasses of champagne and now you're hungover and you're like, and your bungee's not fucking moisturized. So now it fucking snaps and you're hurt, right?
Well, yeah, I think it was more like just the feeling of like already, like I went on a lot of trips with some really great filmers who were really awesome. I went on a lot of trips with filmers who did not want to get out of the van to film my thing and were not shy about telling me that or being like that, just not getting out, or like when they're filming you and they're just like on their phone the whole time and you're like dropping, or it's just like, and this isn't like me making something up because I feel it in my mind. I'm an emotional girl. Like this is fucking legit. And I would fucking be like standing on the drop-in ramp or like I would usually just like try something like absolutely insane and like get tacoed on the rail, but just like almost do it. And then they'd be like, oh yeah, maybe. But what I'm saying is it wasn't just like, oh, I'm running a risk here. It was more like the next trip, this filmer's filming me. And these dudes are like giving me a bro toe into this rail. The next trip, it could be like the other one that I went on where no one would get out of the van to help me, even though I would like shovel for everyone and fucking hustle and stay out in the cold and get frostbite just to like make sure that I was helping them and just hoping that they would see that and that when it was my turn finally, they would do that. And then they wouldn't not because they're bad people, but just because they don't care and they're not paying attention to me because I'm not in their fucking squad or whatever it is, right. Or their idea is like that I don't really know what I'm doing. So they're just not even thinking about you in any way, shape or form, even though you're a rider on the trip. But yeah, it was more that like I have to get as much done here in case the next one I go on is like that other one that I went on. Like a
dud, right? Yeah, Jody Wachniak talked about going on trips with not the man boys. Think about how hard that would be to be in a crew where everybody's having fun, everybody's got each other's backs or whatever they're doing. It looks like, they're just like snowboarding and having fun. And then it's like now you're on a trip with a teammate from another team. And the guy's not having fun. And now where are all your friends? There's none of the fun is there. And then some filmer's like, okay, do your stupid thing. And you're like, oh my God. Like, you can't just force yourself to have like a good relationship with like a filmer or, you know what I mean? Something could be said at dinner where you're just like, I kind of don't fucking like that guy now. And now you're on a trip with a guy or a girl you don't like. And you're supposed to be working together.
I've done 100 of those. Every single one I did was like that.
Oh,
so
wow.
like and I'm not like, oh, it's poor me. It's more just like, that's a pretty sick like life skill I learned. I think just being able to be thrown into anyone and be like clearly not wanted there, but
sure,
just being able to like sit through that uncomfortable feeling and like face it every day and just not give up because you know that you're there for the right reasons and that eventually like they may or may not see it, but you may make a friend at the end.
I like the friend thing.
Or you may never talk again.
Maybe, right. But I'm sure like when you think about your trips, like some of your best friends, it was like a fast friendship,
sure.
Right? Yeah. That's my favorite thing. Being on like a road trip or something.
But I mean, that's the danger of staying in your comfort zone too. Is not like when that does happen to you and you get pushed outside of it, you're not prepared and it's really uncomfortable,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. One of the things we haven't talked about at all that I'd love to talk about is that there was kind of a heyday of pro snowboarding, like where the biggest jumps were built, like in resorts. There was like all this support. There was a bunch of money. People were getting paid really well. And you were a pro in that era, you know?
I was a pro post 2008 recession.
Okay, so that was kind of where it ended. That was like
I think so.
That's about where the decline started, hey? Like the heyday was
I don't know.
299 through
I just remember
2008.
like wanting it so bad and being like broke. My ribs were busted. I was at Super Park and I was just like kept riding because I was like, if I can get a shot, maybe like this sponsor that I have at the time is going to notice or is going to whatever. And I remember Pat Bridges came up to me and he was like, fucking smoking a dart. He was like, you know what? It's not you. It's just the recession, you know, like, and I was like, he was like, you're peaking at the worst possible time. That's what he said.
Unreal. Okay, so I got my timeline wrong there.
Yeah, but like, man, I gotta give Bridges like mad credit. Like he kept me and so many people, I bet he kept them hanging on because he was such a like figure in the industry and the Super Park events that he was doing every year. Like, you know, he would notice people and talk to people and like form relationships with people that weren't having success and it kept just that, like him kind of acknowledging you even like kept a lot of people hanging on to bridge them to be able to, that a lot of people that probably would have quit, you know. And I think that's what like I wanted to be. Yeah. And that's what I want to do like with this event too, is like make something that's like, here's a chance for you to get noticed. And just so you know, like I fucking noticed you, you know?
Rad. Yeah. Yeah. You have that power too in women's snowboarding. You do. You really do. Like you're still one of the highest respected iconic women in snowboarding.
In this room?
In the room. You're the number one. Yeah. No, you are. You don't take compliments that well. Neither do I. I'm terrible at it. That's another thing I wanted to bring up is that the pathways that you found, right? Some of them you had to kick the door in or you had to keep your foot in it. But isn't it fun to continue down one that's working, like the Uninvited? Like, isn't that like a night? Like, it just feels like life is good. You're like, oh, I have this thing that I do that I'm good at. That's fun.
You mean like filmmaking or?
Yeah, just what you're doing in snowboarding. Like, imagine if you were working construction again, right? Like, if you would have bought your North Face jacket, sent the letter, they go, are you fucking serious? No. And they sent you back something that just broke your heart. That you're like, oh, I'm never going snowboarding again. And you're just working some shit job right now. Like, your life is rad because you followed your successes and you built on them. And so this event that's more of that. Like, this event might go for 20 years. It might be like the ultimate women's snowboarding event for the next 20 years. That'd be awesome. Like, how fun is that?
Yeah, I was just thinking about like the Jib Fest and how that's kind of what spurned it. Like, thinking of how sick it would be to have the Jib Fest, but be all girls, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I just want to not squander any opportunities, I think. And that's a theme for me. So I'm just doing like, first it was the girls needed somewhere to get noticed. So we made the Uninvited. And then someone asked me about making a fourth one. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't think we need it. And then I was like, but what do they need? Like, they don't need a place to shine. Now they're getting in all the projects, but what do they need? They need money and they need confidence boost, and they need to show up at a place where they get a fucking dope ass goodie bag and they're the stars and they're the main event and they're not just like hiding in the side for their little slot, you know?
Totally rad. Like, the best. Where's it going to be? Do you know yet?
Yeah, Boreal. Woodward Boreal.
Fun.
Yeah.
Those guys are awesome.
Yeah.
I love Woodward Boreal.
They're getting hammered right now with snow.
Just dumped on.
Well, I don't know. I thought they got like 3 feet in the past like 5 days, and they're getting 70 inches over the next couple days too. So I just...
It's six more feet.
Yeah.
It's like 10 feet. Yeah, that place just gets crazy snow when it gets crazy snow.
I think this is like the first time they've got crazy snow in a long time. Or I think like other years were, maybe, I don't know. I don't live there. Sorry, guys in Tahoe. But
so
I'm hyped for them right now because they're just having like a season of the century.
Epic season. Yeah, one of the guests of the show this year is Andy Brewer. So like there was an Andy Brewer from Utah.
Andy Brewer from Woodward?
Yeah.
Okay, sick.
He's dope, dude. I was like, you're not that Andy Brewer? He's like, no, I'm the other one. And I'll admit it, like, I don't know much about snowboarding. Like the culture, the community, I don't know much about it. Like I don't know about contest kids, rail guys. Like I didn't know he had to cover a trans world from, the team shootout or whatever. Well, I didn't know this stuff. So hearing his story was rad. But then hearing him, he brought me into this world at Woodward's where there's like influencer snowboarders now. And because on my show, he said like, look, you don't get to call yourself a pro snowboarder if you're not like building jumps and you're digging your buddy out of an avalanche. Like he was really going hard on like, because being a pro snowboarder, it looks to someone who looks into it like it's a lot of fucking work and it sucks. There's like a lot of death. There's a lot of fucking gnarly shit that happens. You're in weird situations and the people making the money decisions don't really get it a lot of the time. Like it looks fucking crazy. But this influencer reached out and was like, oh, you hateful old men. Oh, guys, all you old guys talking hate.
Oh my God, your reputation is in danger.
In danger.
With Snowboard Jesus.
Oh my God, I changed my name. I changed my name on there. I'm not Shred Jesus anymore. I just changed it to Snowboarder or whatever. I don't ever use that account. I don't use Shred Jesus. I just do FNRad
like
podcast.
That Shred Jesus was rad. I thought it was sick. But
I liked it too.
Snowboard Jesus came in on your fucking territory.
My rep is in, like people were reaching out being like, dude, what is going on? And I was like, I don't know. And then when I looked into
You're like,
it,
I don't know. I don't have TikTok.
I'm putting it on the show. Did you hear what it was that he was saying at the X Games? Like, did you hear?
I didn't see what happened at the X Games. I just saw the whole thing where I don't know if he like commented on Todd Richards' thing where Todd Richards was being like, dude, this fucking sucks. And he was like, whatever, man. I don't know who the fuck you are. And people were like,
I know.
And everyone like just freaked out. But he's just a dude I don't know. I don't know.
He's just a dude, right? Like that's why I'm bringing it up. But like
he's in this situation, he was being a dumbass, I think. Like, or I don't know. It's just kind of like he was probably like at a point in his life because he has so many followers and so whatever that he's like, yo, I can just like comment on different post stuff, but like, he just got caught with his dick in his hand, kind of. Fucking
Snowboard Jesus doesn't have any rules. He's like just out there spreading good vibes and snowboarding around. He's not very good, but he's got a zillion followers. So his followers could go after Todd Richards. Todd was talking about that with the X Games. He's like, dude, all I said was you probably shouldn't get an X Games medal if you're playing a computer game. Because friends of mine have fucking died at the X Games.
Is there X Games gaming
for a couple of years or 1 year, they did give out X Games medals for video games. And Todd was vocal about it. He's like, that's not cool. Not on my watch kind of thing. And the gamers, they rule the internet. So they tried to cancel Todd. They made his life shitty.
Wait, like, that happened?
That happened in real life. So Todd's like, I don't say shit about gamers. Gamers, you're good. You're cool with me.
I didn't know that.
No, so like you can't like. I don't think this is gonna attract.
Imagine like explaining this to like a prairie farmer 100 years ago, being like, no, but dude, like Shred Jesus, like Snowboard Jesus,
the number of likes,
like he sets up all his clips anyways.
It's
gamers. It's just
it doesn't make any sense. That's what I was.
They're like, we're trying to milk the cow. Leave us alone.
We're trying to make enough food for winter. That's what's happening right now. You are wasting.
We don't like
time.
winter. You guys have fun during winter. We don't like it.
Yeah, because we freeze to death at winter. We usually lose 1 or 2 of our kids every winter.
I mean, the X Games thing is tough because I get that people like were upset and like it is like I made some jokes and posted some memes because that's how I manage my own emotions.
I love your memes.
But best. It's like that is kind of I don't want to say like it's what you sign up for. It sucks that because the stories behind the actual like riders that are there and the things they have gone through, it would be so much cooler, in my opinion, for them to like champion those stories and give airtime to those stories. But it's a business, and to think that, like, to see that, I like do see that for what it is. Like, that is the X Games. It's like, it's the extreme games.
It's the extreme games.
And I feel bad for like the athletes that are in that row. Like, I think there's more potential to make more money and be more world famous, but there's also more potential to just like fade into the background and have absolutely no control over your own like storyline and narrative. And as far as like, this is who I am and this is what I want to project, like, you don't even get a chance. You don't get interviewed on there. It's nothing. It's like, you either landed the craziest trick or you're nobody. And that sucks. But I think that's why a lot of people take like the other route of like filming and being more, they're not going to make as much money, but like, just to remember, like, you guys, we have a choice.
Yeah.
We have a choice, and it wasn't like surprising. It's like, dude, it's the extreme games. Like,
right. It wasn't surprising. It was shocking for me, actually, because I don't watch.
Actually,
the
wait
X Games.
to find out about, like, I didn't see the performance of Young Gravy.
Young Gravy, right.
But
these are names of people, and we're not making fun of them. They're just not our thing. Like, if that's what gets people to watch snowboarding now, like, because people are just they're so overloaded with cute cats and kids falling down and cops and all the dumb things that they see all the time.
There has to be. I know that there has to be like containers for it. Has to be contained at some point. But this is an example of what I'm saying earlier when you were like, yeah, our parents were like this. We're kind of being like that, being like, we want a snowboarder is this, and it has this characteristics and cannot go outside of this. And look, I say this like, but when I really see it happening, like, yeah, I do get a gross feeling in my butthole.
It was so insane.
But
it was so insane.
That's what we're feeling right now. We're feling uncomfortable because we're seeing lines being blurred.
You know what's funny? We were never comfortable though, right? Like you at the Trans World Awards saying to the crowd, like, I was you last year. Like, that was uncomfortable. I was outside the fence. Now I'm up here. It's not any more comfortable. The whole event is weird and uncomfortable. I remember going to the Trans World Awards in Vegas and just feeling like, I am the biggest loser ever. Where do I stand? I need to get out of the way. I kind of want to be here so I can tell people I was here because that's cool. But the whole time I was there, I was like, this is
I walked out of there with 3 awards, like several years of it.
Yeah.
And I felt all of those things that you just said, I felt.
So then that is no good. That's no good. That isn't good. I'd rather have the guy going, whoa, bro, look at that. I thought he was exaggerating. I thought like, I thought
I didn't
someone
see it because I don't have cable TV.
And she just keeps going, dude. Oh, look at the steez on that grab, dog. Nice back up. Backside stops it again. She's unstoppable. Oh, clean grab to finish. Steezy goggles.
I'm going to send you what it was because it was like so insane that I was like, that can't be real. Did someone dub over this? It's insane.
It sucks because it's like the people that are peaking right now.
Right.
That is their biggest time to shine and get attention and, like industry attention and to find success in this thing that they've been chasing their whole lives since they were in Vail preschool for advanced snowboarders.
Right.
No, but for real, like it sucks that this is when they're peaking, is when like the light is getting shone for whatever reason on these other influencers and stuff.
Well, the nice thing about what you just said, one thought before this, is that we were at, maybe it wasn't the same Trans World Awards, but we're having kind of the same experience at this thing that's supposed to be a celebration of the best in the industry. And that just is everything, right? Like the person who's having the best time snowboarding in the world is probably a rich guy, really, who goes to like some sort of, Heli
it's like a
retreat.
Yeah, like a 48-year-old who goes to Bald Face.
Who used to be a pro and got boards and was maybe even made money from it. but is there for a week and someone else paid for it and they're just having the greatest time. It's probably not the guy at the X Games, and it probably never was. Even though those guys are at the top of their game, they're probably not having the most fun. But someone like Andy Finch, who's just like a bulldog competitor who loves to compete, or yourself too, that likes to be the best. No, and I don't mean that in an offensive way.
I don't like to be the best. I like to be the first.
The first. Okay. The first. Good. Yeah.
Not the first place, but like I want to be the thing that people said that couldn't be.
Yes. Which is sick. Like, so hopefully you're having, that's getting a roundabout way back to like, hopefully you've given yourself the permission to have fun. Right?
I'm having fun now.
Yeah. Still.
You know what I enjoy sometimes these days? Leaving early. I never would let myself leave early. And now I get in arguments with my filmer about the joys of leaving early. I'm like, let's just fucking go, dude. Like we could go. Yeah, I don't know. I don't mean like less snowboarding, but I just mean like we don't have to push ourselves to want to die at the end of every day.
Right. Yeah, I'm scared. I'm going to Blaze boot camp and that guy rides from like first chair to last chair, which is not good for me.
Bring snacks.
I'm shred
Pocket
Jesus. I shred a little for 2 hours.
And then you spread the good word.
And then I spread the good word. Yeah. Bring snacks. Yeah, that's true. I think I'm going to be ducking out and then coming back out like, first chair, I'm there. All right. And then last year I'm there for sure.
Yeah, maybe and then just go nap under the table.
Yeah, a little bit of a nap in the room. But yeah, so what other things? So what in snowboarding is more fun for you now than it was when you were kicking your own ass?
Riding powder. And just like thinking, or like just the feeling of doing powder turns and snowmobiling. I really like that. And like sessioning something stupid with friends and building stuff for people to hit that are like, I don't have to hit it, but just like making something so sick, making them the perfect drop-in ramp, like stuff like that. That's, you just are a weirdo and you find satisfaction in like a very nice, smooth transition at the proper angle,
Yes.
So
I've built some stuff. Yeah, it is very satisfying.
No, because you've like dug for events too and shit, right?
Yeah, and it's fun to see like friends try something and then they almost get it and you can see that they're probably kind of hurt and they might be not going to try again. You go, you almost had it. And then they do it, they get it. That's like epic. Especially if you get to do the little pat down, they trust you. They're like, okay, yeah, you've got, thank you. Thank you for making it right. I love that for sure.
Or they're like, please don't touch a shovel or even make eye contact with one.
I've never had that. God.
I mean, I work with Ben, so.
Maybe I have actually with Ben.
Yeah.
Where it's like, don't.
Or he just gives you the dark, no soul eyes. Stay away from the lip.
Stay away from the lip. Yeah, or crush too. Nobody walk up the transitions.
Yeah.
Yeah. They care. They care a lot.
It's sick having that dude, because there was always that dude when you were growing up, like the dude at the skate park, the dude in the park, the dude or whatever, where you're just like, don't fuck around. That dude's here,
Yes. Yep. I kind of put that on that whole crew. Like, I don't know, Lou, if I've never met him. And even LMP seems like, no, there's no way he was that.
LMP was like the loose one of the group,
yeah,
I think. Or like there's some people who are just so naturally talented that they don't really necessarily pay attention to the whole process that other people have to go through in order to do the same trick,
Yes.
And then there are some people like Louis who are both. They are like so naturally gifted and then they're so in tune with the work part of it and they enjoy the work part of it. Not to say that Laurent doesn't. I fucking love that guy, but like
he's a hard worker.
But he likes to have fun and he liked the funness of it, the weirdness of it, Yeah. Now he's a farmer.
Do you see his posts and stuff? It's like he's always doing
got
crazy
a new
shit.
duck this week, got a new goat next week.
It's awesome.
Got a new baby or 2 or 3.
Yeah. Some people have that. I feel like you had that with Mark, right? Like you had that real, like you guys would have had a family. You would have been awesome parents.
You know what's fucking crazy? Yesterday I was talking to my friend. I was like, next year it's going to be 10 years.
Oh.
We could have had a 10-year-old.
Could have had a 10-year-old right now.
Or a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
No, wait. You got to spend time growing it.
You got 9 months. Exactly.
Okay, we could have had an 8-year-old.
Could have had it. No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, but then I was like, I would have never had a kid. Like, that's another crazy thing. It's like, people are like, do you want to have a kid? And you're like, yeah, but not through my vagina. Like, if someone else can grow it, like, yeah, but it's just, that's one thing that's like, I don't know. It's everyone, like, all the dudes, I mean, around here too, that are pros, like, they all are having kids now. And
totally.
Would I want to have a kid? Probably. Can I have, like, yes, like pro moms and blah, blah, blah. But like, realistically, it looks fucking gnarly. And every year is so critical, like, in your snowboard career, that for me, I don't think I could do it. I think
you could handle it.
There are some years, I think, like the first 3 years or 4 years, that look really, really, really difficult for someone who is even a stay-at-home, fully funded mom.
Totally.
But to be like, have your career on the line, also be putting your body at risk, and then also like missing these few critical years that you're also like not getting much sleep and you're stressed out. And like, that doesn't sound like something I could do. I think I've like also put my body through so much snowboarding and all the injuries and everything. Like, I don't think I could. And like, this may sound completely ignorant coming from me, but that is like kind of a bummer. It's like, man, I would probably like to have a kid, but I can't. I don't think.
I hear you.
Until I retire, in my mind.
Right.
Because I just don't want to take on. It's like taking on 100 film projects. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. It is and it isn't. I had kids when I was young. But here's the deal. I wanted kids when I was young. I wanted kids when I was a kid.
But did you have to get your nips chewed on? Like,
it sucked.
Did you have to get sewn up? Like, no, I'm saying like,
no, I didn't have to do shit.
So
man.
like,
As a
the
dad,
thing comes out of you. You gotta feed it. It's not easy. It's not easzy. But what I'm saying is like,
being a dad,
that also falls on you. All of those extra
yes.
things that are like, sound pretty gnarly. It's pretty scary to me.
They're super gnarly. They are, and they're wicked scary. And yeah, I think what I was saying was that, like, if you don't really want to have a kid, like if you didn't grow up wanting to be a mom,
I did
the whole time,
though.
Well, then yeah, you should probably
before I started snowboarding though.
You should probably be a mom. Like that's the thing.
Nah, I'm gonna have cats.
Cat mom, that's still a thing. And plus, there's so many kids out there that could use like an amazing mentor. That's also momming. That's helping the mom.
It is momming.
It's momming. You're a mom to the girls, you know? And I'm not trying to placate you. I'm just making an observation. Yeah, definitely being a parent is not congruent with like self-development and like career.
Doing whatever you
doing what you want to do for, you got 16 years where you're like, anytime you're doing what you want, it's in a state of guilty nastiness where you're like, fuck, it's hard to really appreciate this because I should not be doing it. That's a vibe that I've definitely outgrown.
I could see that. Yeah, no, it looks so hard, honestly. The biggest props in the world are to people who have kids.
Yeah, I think I've heard a comedy bit about it. It's not that hard, right?
You forget though, because like 13 years now have passed that have buffed out those first 3 years.
You know what's hard is like actually giving 110%, right? So anything is hard, right? Like being a pro snowboarder is hard because if you want to be good at it, you've got to give it everything that you have. And if you want to be a good parent, you got to give it everything you have. And so it's fucking.
I feel like if you want to keep that thing alive, you got to give it everything you have. So
no, man, you could see a lot of it. You can see a lot of examples of people that people. Kids raise themselves. A lot of kids do, right? Or raise themselves in spite of having kind of shitty parents. No offense, Mom, I love you.
Say, Mom, sorry you gave up your dreams for me.
Yes, that's true, right? I was talking to my mom about it today, just about like, hey, you know what? At the end of the day, you did a great job. I'm an awesome parent. You were an awesome parent. I was never like in fear for my life. You know what I mean? A lot of the things that I enjoy, I can only enjoy because all the background shit was taken care of by parents.
Right.
Yeah. So I thanked her wholeheartedly today, like from my heart. Because, would I have wanted a better mom? Better how? I don't know. Sure. But no, because I'm here with Jess Kimura doing something that I love.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I thought about you when that went down. I was
Thank
like,
you.
I wonder how Eric's doing. My thoughts and prayers go out
Thank
to
you.
him. Yeah.
I was panicking. I was having a fucking panic attack.
That's what I said to Ben. I was like, dude, the craziest thing about all of this is that I keep like telling the story to people, but then referring to it as Shred Jesus. And then I'm like, wait, no, Snowboard Jesus. Sorry, that's Eric. Fuck.
Oh, man. Yeah. When I turned a corner with the podcast and became quite happy was holy moly. Being invited by Crush was just all time. And then being invited to dinner with you and Ben and Dustin and all those guys. That was such a nice gesture. Thank you very much. Just made me feel a part of something.
It's crazy because like I don't want, and this sounds like terrible, but I just like to say what's actually in my head.
Please.
Like I'm like, that's cool, man. And that is a reminder of like what I'm saying when it's like that meant something to you. And me, I was like, I don't want to go to fucking dinner with people that I have to talk to. Like not you, but just like you get those opportunities all the time. And I'm just kind of like, well, I'm also like this weirdo that just wants to be inside a quiet room by myself,
That's not weird.
But like, I don't know, you just never, it's really easy to underestimate the kind of like small gestures that can mean something to somebody and give them confidence to keep doing what they're doing or whatever it is. Not to say that like, oh, we are all gods. We shall bestow our Indian food upon you.
Right.
But yeah, like that's cool.
Kevin Sansalone coming into the boardroom when I worked there and saying, oh, hey, Eric, like probably did more for me becoming this than anyone else. Because I was like, yeah, that's Kevin Sansalone. Like, I was so stoked.
And same with all the people that come up to you.
Oh, 100%.
With the podcast, and then you're saying, like, you're friends with them after, you're messaging with them after,
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I like those guys. Like, of course. Yes. Yeah. I mean, when you're in your integrity or whatever, these weird opportunities. Have you had any of those lately? Like, those weird opportunities that just pop up where you go, I can't believe that.
Yeah, Jason Momoa, like Aquaman, sent me a DM.
Are you serious?
After Learning to Drown came out, yeah. And I was like, you're fucking kidding me. Because I'm like big Game of Thrones fan.
Awesome.
I'm talking like I'm on my 20th round of every single episode.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
I just watched like 3 more last night. But yeah,
That's crazy,
so that was crazy. But he's a cool dude. He like is doing it. He's like the people's champ,
Dope.
Yeah.
That's so sick. I love that.
I don't know. It's just so easy to get like jaded on stuff like special dinners with people or whatever like that. I was at that dinner. I was like, I don't want to fucking be here. Not because I didn't like you or anyone that I was with, but it was more like that was actually even before you got there. But I was just like, I'm so tired right now. I'm so tired. I don't know. It makes me really tired to like interact with people because I want to give it like 100%,
You need to watch Kevin Jones's latest. He did an edit. It might be a YouTube video.
I think I heard Ben listening to it the other day. He's talking about splitboarding or something.
Yeah, he's out splitboarding and he's like, my job as a pro snowboarder was to go to these fucking dinners that I hated fucking going to. And then everyone's like, you spoiled brat piece of shit. Like, you don't appreciate what, like, he's like, I just want to be in my room by myself. Like, but
I do recognize like my job is not to be in my room by myself. So I do want to do a good job of my job, but I think it's just, and it's not like, oh, I don't want to go out. It's like, I have anxiety around.
That's what he says.
Interacting with people and, which is funny because it's like I can interact with people,
You're such you're such a personable person.
I think like the weight of knowing too, like that you could say something dumb or not acknowledge someone or do something wrong or not remember someone's name, and then they're going to be bummed on you, or bummed that you like made them feel a way. And I don't want to say that being like, I'm so important, every move I do has ramifications. No. But more just like, yeah, you know, I just feel like there's like more weight to it if someone like knows who I am or looks up to me, then I feel like scared that I'm going to fuck that up, you know?
Here's the thing. I don't read I read all my comments now because they're all so nice. Everybody's so nice that watches the show. There's just a great community of people that watch and listen to the show. It's awesome. But back in the day, I'd get like a negative comment and I would fucking flip about it, right? So then I just came up with this process where I was like, okay, I can't flip out about that one 0-star review or whatever. It was probably a 3-star review, and I started to bawl. It's like until I read and really appreciate all the 5-star reviews, because those are the people that I should be focusing on. So you talking about like, there probably are 10 people out there that you just, somebody was talking over here and then someone said, you're my favorite. And you went, and then you go over here and you're like, oh, fuck. And then that person goes away, right? And you're like, oh, I wish I would have been able to make that person's day. That there's probably 5 or 10 of those people. There's like thousands of people who are like me, like, whoa, you invited me, you know, Chris Corbett, like you made that guy's year.
Dudes everywhere.
Yeah. There's so many people that you have made feel really fucking good that if you ever get on that tip where you're like, oh fuck, I'm gonna maybe make someone feel bad, don't worry about it. Because there's 1,000 to each one of those people. And most of those people would understand. So Jess.
Maybe.
Not maybe. No.
But it's okay. I don't like, I mean, I get my ass kissed enough. You don't have to do it.
I'm not even kissing it. I'm just reminding you, like, read the good comments. And if somebody says something shitty about you.
Yeah, no, you're right
who gives a fuck?
And I don't mean I get my ass kissed enough.
No, I know what you're saying.
But I mean, like, you don't.
Yeah. It's cringy. It's cringy. I get it. But you know what? My favorite thing about this whole thing is there has been a bunch of laughing, right? And that's the best.
Yeah.
Hearing you laugh is awesome. No, that was a really fun conversation. Is there anything you want to get out there other than the Uninvited Invitational?
Uninvited Invitational happening in April.
Epic. Yeah. You have a couple new sponsors?
Yeah, I mean, I think that is a crazy thing, is being this far into my career and feeling like, yeah, I'm kind of washed up and not that great at snowboarding anymore, and then still getting support from brands. And I think that just goes to show that people are looking for more of like a full human, not just
rad
real estate on someone's board, you know, and someone that's doing stuff that they also care about. And I don't know, just doing stuff for other people. I think that's why that these things keep coming up. But yeah, I got on with Smith, which is sick. That's another brand that I just went out and bought a pair of their goggles when I was unsponsored. That was like same that North Face year. And I was like, I'm not going to go begging someone. I'll just go buy them. And then, I ended up getting on with them. And then I just signed with Yeti, actually.
Sweet.
Which is really cool because they back so many sick projects, and like filmmaking is the thing that I want to do. So
yeah, that's fun. Events, filmmaking, supporting women's snowboarding.
And that's the other thing with the Uninvited Invitational. There's like the contest portion where we're going to give away money, but also an opportunity for I feel like with Learning to Drown and whatever else, like podcasts I've been on, like I've had an opportunity to show more like a 3-dimensional person and tell my story, and that is what has helped my career for sure. And I didn't do it for that reason, but these other girls that they're so sick, I want them to be able to, we're doing like a docuseries around it, and I want them to be able to tell their stories and show that they're also like 3-dimensional human beings. And because I know that that's a huge asset that's going to help them have like long careers and success. So.
That's really cool, actually. That's a really good, it's a very good strategy for like that mentorship piece that's there, right? Like there's a real reason that you're a respected pro snowboarder It's because you never take any of this shit for granted. And you were always looking at how does this, like, fuck it. Like Tyler Lepore did that, but he burned it down. He's like, I'm going to do a naked magazine that no one's going to like and no one's going to understand in the snowboard industry. And that's my fuck you, I quit, right? Whereas you were like, I'm going to just fucking tell them who I am and see where it goes. And where it went is new sponsors. Yeti, what do? It's coolers and cups and drinking stuff, reusable drinking things. Who is it? I don't even know who it is. Is it Travis Rice? Seems like it's...
No, it's, I know who they are just because I was like into fishing and camping and...
Rad.
And everyone like that is kind of like a baller has a Yeti cooler. That's like
Right.
when you have a Yeti cooler, that's like the level. But
Yep.
the thing that I like, this just happened like the other day. And the thing
Congrats.
thanks. But the thing that I was most excited about was that this means Yeti's going to sponsor the event, which means we're going to have fucking white Yeti coolers for the riders to sit on at the bottom of the course, just like Natural Selection. Like it's just a sick brand that makes like really high end stuff, which I recognize that a lot of people can't afford stuff like that, but
a lot of people listen to this show, Ken. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just
buy some Yeti shit because it's fucking cool. Yeah, that's dope. What do you think of Natural Selection? I talked with Nicholas Mueller about it and him being invited to it and how difficult the format is. Like, we get what Travis is going for.
It's difficult for the dudes, but it's
yeah,
like nuclear difficult for the girls.
Yes.
Because they never, like, I don't know. I don't know everyone's personal story, but in my mind, none of those dudes ever fucking asked any of those chicks that are in the contest beside them to ever come out and like hit a jump with them or learn something with them. They were all kind of like on their own. And that's why they like formed their pods of having to just do it with each other. And like a lot of those guys, the amount of repetitions of like a backside 7 they get every year is a million. And the other girls, maybe like things line up in a way that they can do a back 7 like 3 times a year or something.
Right.
That's why Zoe's so sick, because she does 1,000 back 7s a year, and so it's fuck all to her. But like,
right.
It's just, the Uninvited Invitational actually is something that spurned from like watching Natural Selection and being like, man, this is not set up to help them. They just are allowed to be tacked onto it, but it doesn't help show actually how good they are.
Right.
And I want to make an event, like, of course, a backcountry thing with helicopters and all that shit. That's just out of reach, but maybe I can make like my own version of something where the riders show up and they feel like every detail has been thought about to help. And it's like the whole thing is formed around something to help them succeed and be the best that they can be,
Killer.
So, I mean, Natural Selection is just, it's a crazy, it looks hard. I couldn't do it.
And it's not actually just the girls that are like, because when you watch, Mikkel Bang do a couple of 360s and a backflip. I don't know if he did the backflip, but it comes down to like a couple of 360s and a backflip. For the guys will win. Someone will probably do a 7 or a switch 5, cab 5 to land forward, because fucking you gotta land forward in powered, or you can't really do a lot of shit backwards unless you're Travis. It's kind of like there's one guy in the world who could really rip it. It's Travis. There's a few guys who on a great day could also maybe beat him, you know what I mean? And they do. But it's like watching Gigi Ruff
there is a contingent of dudes that are made for this contest. Like Ben Ferguson, for example.
Fergs was
or
really
Mikkel
good.
Bang,
Mikkel Bang. But like I was talking with Dustin Craven about it, and he was saying,
and Craven's actually like built for that.
He's insane. His part was like my favorite of everyone. He's like, dude, the amount of stress that went into venue selection, like that's fucked up. Like you've got to find a spot to film this shit. Like it's like stressful. And I'm like, oh yeah, of course. But like, that's what Nico was saying, was like, it's just not, you're filming a video part in like a day. And
you have one chance. Maybe 2.
Like that selects for like almost nobody, right? Nobody, and also it's going up against a video that you filmed for sometimes for 2 years. So people go, oh yeah, I love this guy. His part was so good. And then they watch him take 3 runs in revving and go, what the fuck happened to that guy? Or what is this that I'm watching? But maybe nobody does that. Maybe people understand how hard it is. I don't know.
I don't think people understand how hard it is.
I don't think I even understand how hard it is, and I'm watching it going, this is
like
impossible.
What went into being able to just ride down something and look at it from the top for the first time as you're going and make sure that is the right bump I'm supposed to jump off of. And I don't know.
Would you
crazy.
ever consider doing it? Did they ask you like, hey?
They did.
Yeah. And were you thinking about it?
No.
You're
no,
like,
because I mean, like, it would be cool maybe one day, but I know that I'm not there yet. And the performance that I would put on would not do other girls justice. It would not do anything for us except give some guys something to laugh at. Honestly, like, sure, I've ridden a bit of powder, but there's no fucking way I could do that. I'm not good enough yet for that, and may never be, probably will never be.
Right.
But mad props to the girls that are doing it.
Mad props. Like it's it's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Right? It's crazy. I love it. It's a fun format to watch, but then it Travis is just a kind of a genius, and you're
but there's
thing
also
on
like
another
it's also like you got to know what you're looking at. Same thing with the X Games. Like, this is Travis Rice's event. It's big, it's crazy, it's difficult, and it's all these things, and everyone like kind of has an opinion on it or how it could be better, how it could change. But the one, like, for me, I always tell myself, execution is everything, and he pulled it off enough to have it on network. I was just thinking
Red
like
Bull TV. Yeah.
The point is that it's just easy. It's really easy to criticize something when you don't know all the details behind it. And I'm not saying like that I want to see Young Gravy
Sure. Yeah.
performing at the bottom of the half pipe again.
I'm putting it back up right now. Young Gravy, not my vibe.
Yeah. But I'm also finding out, like, doing this event in my own little tiny small scale way, it's so stressful. It's so stressful.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's people are like, what do you mean? Like, isn't it just it's like all day, every day working with my friend Hayes. We're just like sweating, being like, fuck, how are we supposed to pull this off? Because the whole point is like, it's like the Wizard of Oz thing where there's like the little green dude behind the curtain.
Totally.
And that's what the result is, like the big wizard head. That's what I want.
Yeah.
But the drive is like someone asked me yesterday, like, so what's your social media strategy? I was like,
oh no.
we're thinking about getting Young Gravy and Snowboard Jesus. Actually, we have the Canadian version, Shred Jesus.
Oh God.
It's the no-name pop version.
I'll come out of the
RC Cola.
Oh wow, look at all these girls doing all these tricks, man. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. You don't appreciate what goes on behind the scenes until you actually do it.
But yeah, no, I know it's just a lot. Like all of to the level that we want to execute it, which is a very high level.
Yeah, that's the bottom line.
Just wait till you see it go down and you see like the docuseries and you see the setup that we have to build from scratch. And yeah, it's a lot. Yeah,
I hear you. You've bitten off a lot. That's what
I would never complain and say something's hard if it's not. I will always go the other way. So trust me, motherfucker, it's hard.
Is Crush going to get involved with this one? Because he seems to love events like this sort of thing.
But that would have been awesome. But we're doing Its Tits in May at Sunshine. And
congrats. That's dope.
Yeah.
I know that he talks a lot in his episode about the problem with the name for him just with selling it. But fucking the name is why it's so dope.
Yeah. But he has his like year set out in April, middle of April. I think that's when he's building Bowley or something. So he wasn't able to do it this year.
Well, you're the like girl crush.
Like Crush Junior.
Crush
like. The lesser Crush because I'm a girl. Is that what you're saying?
Crush Canadian.
I'm just...
The RC.
The RC Cola of crushes. I'm just fucking with you.
I'm really happy that you're happy. And I'm fucking so stoked that you are in snowboarding.
Thanks.
Because snowboarding needs you for real. You know, it can't be all young gravies. And it also can't be all the other gatekeepers, because there are a lot of gatekeepers that, you know, hopefully they're doing the right thing. But like, it's kind of hard when you grew up in a cool guy thing to not hold up that cool guy standard.
Yeah. I mean, I think you can be cool and not be a cool guy.
Mm-hmm.
You could just be cool and then you don't have to be a cool guy.
Isn't that the best?
Yeah.
Yeah. Devin Walsh, the ultimate cool guy. He's trying zero. He is who he genuinely is. Fucking love that guy. When you were talking about getting rid of girl style, I heard him talk about, Dano was saying, Devin's philosophy was always like stomp. So like he wanted to nose roll, not tail wheelie. So it
right.
was all, and that's the same
That's a really
philosophy.
Yeah, that's
as what you were talking about. It's like, I don't want to come up short because I'm whinging. I want to fucking overshoot and land in the flats.
If I'm going down, I'm going down over my nose.
Yeah, exactly. Congrats on going down over your nose. Congrats on surviving that. Holy fuck.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're the best. Thank you. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for setting this whole place up.
No worries.
Yeah, I think that worked, right?
And then we went.
Yeah, we're good. I think we went all over the whole time. And we didn't do that much of the fucking stupid girl shit.
We started heavily.
I know. And I read the room, and when the batteries died, I was like, no more of that. Thank God. FNRad shout-outs this week to Jess Kimura for bringing it and setting up the interview space. Thanks for being so cool and patient. And thanks for putting so much effort into building the snowboarding community. I want to express my gratitude to all the listeners this year who've reached out through messages or in real life to tell me that you love the show. I love that shit. That's awesome. And extra special thanks to all the supporters and sponsors this year. I'll be running a fundraiser in May. I've got a 1910 signed Jamie Lynn and Scove frame print that's absolutely awesome, and I'll put together some more radness to get you guys stoked. I can't believe it's time to say goodbye already. I'll see you November 1st for the 9th season of the FNRad Snowboard Podcast, presented by Vans and brought to you by FNRad Snowboarding.